I built a no-code LLM Council using MindStudio, and in this video, I'm going to walk you through this project setup. So if you're not familiar with the LLM Council, it's a open source project by Andrej Karpathy. And basically, every AI model has its strengths and weaknesses, and it offers unique perspectives and on different things. And so whether you're using ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini, even Grok, each one of them is going to have a different take on it. So essentially what this model does, the LLM Council, is it allows you to ask a question and then it will go through and with each model, it'll give the each model will answer that question and then it'll send it anonymously and each model again will review all the answers, including the answer that they gave themselves, because it's not tied to a session memory, so they don't know that it's actually them that created the answer. And then it'll go down there and basically pick apart the answer that was given. And then finally, I have a model at the end that will basically synthesize everything and take it through and then show you the final answer. So the reason to do this is because, well, you could have like really complex questions or you could have simple questions that you want to answer to. And before you go out and spend money on a really expensive consultant or spend hours on YouTube or trying to find an answer to it, you could quickly get something from the LLM Council. So I'll give you an example. I have three examples here of just some questions that I asked. So because my background's in marketing and advertising, I asked her to start. Uh, Now, this one was specifically because I keep telling my kids that even though AI is kind of taking over the world, they need to have skills that are involved with the physical world and somehow so they can do that. So it's really interesting that it came up with the last mile technician, basically focusing on hardware, because as the software implementation becomes easier and easier, the hardware stuff is really where people are going to struggle with just using different things and keeping them up to date, keeping them fixed and everything else like that. And that's really what this kind of talks about. I also asked about the best SEO strategy for a local business in 2026. And it actually did a pretty good job here. I've been doing SEO for 25 years now. And this is one of the best answers that I've seen for sure that's out there. So I was really surprised by the thoroughness of it and the fact that it basically removed all the spammy tricks and it didn't give me all the regurgitated answers that if I would have gone on and looked all over YouTube or searched online, the things that would have found. So it was pretty good. And then the other one, I was looking for digital marketing trends again for 2026, and it actually gave three different answers here for it, and then kind of broke everything down, and it was really good on from my perspective on again on the digital marketing side. It was really good on how it broke it down, and like I find like this all these things are things that I could almost copy and paste without any changes and put it on a website somewhere. Now, I'm not going to do that because I want to present like my voice and my opinion and stuff like that on that. But the information on here is spot on. It's really good. So let me just walk you through kind of what's going on. I gave you the general overview of kind of what's going on, but with the prompt, basically the first one is just asking the question, right? And so all I'm doing is giving the question to it and letting it answer on there. And then the next thing I do is take that question and basically come in here and say, here's the question, here's the answers for everything, and now I want you to review it, and I want you to rank each one by the best and the worst, and then come over here and then give me the reason why it was you picked the best or the worst on there. And then finally, there's going to be a critique on here, right? So we're going to go through there, and each of the models here we'll go through, and the objective here is to look at the answers that were given, and then basically come back and say, hey, look, let's pick it apart. Let's act as the devil's advocate here. Let's find things that are flawed in the logic, things that are flawed in the reasoning or anything else like that. So it's going to analyze the core argument. It's going to hunt for fallacies, critique the reviewer. So it's going to do all that in there. And then finally, we're going to come over here and I'm using Gemini 3 on this one. And we're going to act as a chief editor, basically look at all sides of the argument and put together one complete answer. And then the output is what you've seen over here. So it's really cool. Now, here's the fun part. Because this was built on MindStudio, you don't actually have to go through there and recreate all the work that it took me to do this. All you have to do, I'm leaving a link in the description that's called a remix link. If you're not familiar with that, it allows you to create your own on MindStudio, and it'll copy everything over there, and now you can use it just the way that you want. A couple of tweaks that you might want to make is you might want to take the model on here and change the model just depending on what your preference is. I would stick with these 4 main models, but you can change and use a different one. So if you want to use, the 2.5 Pro instead of the 3, you can do that. If you want to use a flash, it's going to be cheaper, you can do that. So you just select kind of like the models that you want, and then go through there. And you really won't need to make any other changes. The other thing I would say is when you're asking the question, provide a lot of context. So the more context that you provide about the specific thing that you're looking at, the better the answer is going to be. So anyway, if you have questions about it, drop a comment and I'll get to it as soon as I can.